Welcome to the Bleed Maize and Blue podcast with your hosts, Brian and the U, covering all Michigan athletics from a fan's perspective. Alright, so we are 2-0.
2-0. A win. More issues than last week, though, so we can talk about that. But overall, compared to how the other good teams looked this week,
a lot better.
We'll take it.
We will definitely take it. A 51-14 win, I believe.
Yes.
Okay, so, despite the score, I don't even want to say that. I'm happy with the score, but there are a few things that we can kind of depict from there that a few problems.
And we'll talk about that. But yes, for now, it's worth the fist pump. Good win.
Yeah, we're gonna say that's a good win. We'll start with the offense today, and I'll let Matt, you take the reins on Wilton Spate. What did you think?
Wilton Spate. Well, just one more big point. I think, at least we'll see what you think, but I thought UCF overall was better than Hawaii.
Yeah.
I don't know what you thought. So it was good that it was sort of a step up in competition.
Yeah.
UCF seemed at least competent compared to Hawaii, who didn't.
I agree.
But yeah, quarterback Wilton Spate, he looks good.
Mm-hmm.
He accuracy, obviously, like those deep passes. Like, remember last year, Jake Rudock, it took till middle of October?
Yeah.
Indiana game maybe last year for him to hit those deep balls.
Yeah.
And Spate's already hit him perfectly.
Exactly.
That long one to Darbo was perfect. He had a couple to Chesson.
To Bud as well.
Yeah, to Jake Butt.
And they were on a line too. They weren't even, they were really well thrown balls on the run and everything.
They were, and there's even one down the opponent's sideline for Chesson. Remember that one? And I think that was a good throw, and I think Chesson slowed up. We can look at that again.
Yeah,
that's the point. Is he looks really good.
Yeah.
And just sort of pocket awareness. He doesn't seem to get too rattled.
No.
He seems to move around.
Yeah, and if you like you said, when you watch his feet even, he's not he doesn't have the happy feet. He's moving around nicely in the pocket, and he steps into his throws.
He does. His release is a little weird. He's sort of like a looping throw.
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah,
but
kind of sidearm a little bit.
But I don't think it matters because he's so tall. He's
right.
6'6".
Yeah.
So even if you lose some height on your throw, it's fine, and it seems to work. So, but yeah, they asked him to do a lot more because the running game wasn't really working.
Mm-hmm.
And he seemed fine. So, which is really amazing considering he only threw he had 2 drives last year. Yeah. So that's really impressive, and I'm sure it'll only get better.
Yeah, I think he threw, was it over 300 yards or something?
Yeah, and almost 40 attempts.
Yeah.
It was 37.
So.
And I didn't really see any main issues.
No,
some of those drops, Jake Butt dropped a few, which didn't happen all last year.
Yeah.
So even some of the drops weren't on him. So very impressive.
Yep, and the point that you made in comparison to last year, where the quarterbacks were at this time of year, where this is a very positive, way to look at it. So, yeah,
very good.
All right, so good quarterback play. So now we'll go on to the running backs, and what do you think about that? What's your interpretation of the run game?
Definitely not as good as last week. I think that's for more than one reason.
Yeah.
First of all, they just weren't as good as blocking. Credit to UCF, I think.
Yeah.
I think part of it was just UCF's scheme, just putting a lot of guys in the box, sort of waiting on the run.
Yeah.
I think Harbaugh set a lot of run blitzes.
Yep.
So I think that was sort of UCF's strategy to shut down the run, which they did do for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
I think most of Michigan's run. There's one Davion Smith run. He had 12 missed tackles.
Yeah.
And I think there was a couple jet sweeps.
Yeah.
There's a McDoom jet sweep. That one got a bunch of yards.
Yeah. That was awesome, though, when he juked 2 players. That he's going to be special.
Yeah, he had the double spin.
It was awesome.
Yeah, man, he looks fast.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, other than that, not much between the tackles.
Not much at all.
Chris Evans didn't get going again.
Yeah, and I think we talked last week about how excited I was for Evans this next week, but I'm not.
That's okay.
Yeah, I'm not going to blame it on him. I think another thing too, I think, is Harbaugh's not really revealing anything yet.
Mm-hmm.
I think, like you said, we were packing in the box, and then when we're just simply running up the middle, we're not. I didn't even notice guards pulling too much or any run schemes that stood out to me. So it was very basic.
Yeah, I think some of it was issues with Michigan Go. Like there was a couple of blitzes that didn't get picked up.
Yeah.
There were a couple of plays where the UCF guys were just got out their blocks. So I think there's enough to work on, but I don't think it was all just Michigan not being able to run the ball because the offensive line is having trouble. Yeah. I think it was a lot of things.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna worry. If it happens next week, maybe we'll worry about it. But for now, I think it's okay.
You're not worried?
I'm not worried yet.
Okay.
But I will say,
I'm happy with your optimism.
But just as an add-on,
okay.
I love Jake Butt, but he's not a great blocker at the moment.
No.
I don't know if you noticed that either.
I've noticed it, yeah.
He more than makes up for it than in his receiving. But,
yeah.
Tight end blocking, not great so far.
Yeah.
At least on the plays I've seen.
So, hopefully he picks that up.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know. I have to say I'm a little concerned, but that's just me. I'm just because of what it's been the past, 3-4 years with this line group, and they haven't done, too well. So
yeah.
they've gotten better, and I still think they're going to be good, but I don't, like you said, we'll see what they do this week.
If it happens again this week, then maybe. And I will say, even if the run game didn't work, they're still really good at pass protection.
Yeah.
I think maybe one sack and a couple of hurries, but other than that,
yeah.
Spay it all day. And if you're good enough to pass block,
mm-hmm.
it seems like they'll be good enough when they really need to run the ball.
Exactly.
So I won't worry yet.
Yep. Exactly. All right. What do we got? Receivers.
Bigger impact than last week. More passing.
Yep. More passing.
Cheston looks like Cheston again.
Yeah.
Super fast.
Had his receivers beat multiple times.
Yeah, beat his corners
beat. Yeah.
Good blocker. Yeah, I think he's gonna be. Yeah, he had that post down the middle sort of near the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
A couple other big passes, I think.
He had the deep ball as a touchdown, right? Was it the third touchdown?
That was Darbo.
Okay.
Yeah, the post down the middle.
Okay.
But yeah, Chesson looked good. Yeah, actually, I want to talk about Darbo more because I thought he had the best game of the receivers.
Yeah.
He had that one post, and mainly, I thought he looked faster compared to last year.
Yeah, I think so too.
Like, he had that one post, he had that, I think it was the last touchdown where he was sort of cutting across.
Yeah,
and he sort of cut out and back in.
Mm-hmm.
And, man, he looks really fast this
year. And there was that one play where he went into the flats, and it was a touch pass from Spate, and no one could catch him. Yeah. It was I think it was a 30-yard play, right?
Yeah, and he's the guy who always gets those wide receiver screens.
Yeah.
But yeah, he just looks a little more slim, a little faster. Mm-hmm. And if he's a deep threat guy, they have two, which really helped Spade in the offense.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were the main two receivers. Not much
from the younger.
Not much from Graham Perry or some of the younger guys. I guess we can include Jake Butt, though, on the receiving.
Absolutely.
He might have the most catches.
Probably. And it was those out routes.
Yeah.
Often.
Yeah, he likes those.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks really good. He's basically a receiver.
He is.
Yeah, he had that out route on a touchdown that was right at the pylon. Perfect throw by Spate. That was exciting. Yep. He had the first touchdown. So that little 3-yard dump.
Yeah.
A little post route thing. But yeah, it looks like those three main guys can go up with anyone, which is good.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah.
And yeah, I did think it was interesting though. Like last week we saw all the we talked about how many freshmen made an impact, and he did have the freshmen make an impact this week. But in the receiving core, Corpus is mostly just it was the seniors. You saw them step up, and you saw why they're where they are, and they're leading the team.
Yeah.
So that was good to see. I think they're gonna help Spade out.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
Just one more note.
Mm-hmm.
Receiving end, I guess more running, but I really like Khalid Hill.
Okay, yeah.
He's sort of like a interesting chess piece. He seems pretty good on like those fullback dives near the end zone. Like that's what like Sione Huma and Carriage, those guys did last year.
Exactly.
It seems like he's taking that role, and
he got 2 yesterday, right?
Yeah, he got 2 touchdowns. Just sort of his whole shape. He's very low
He's
center
a big
gravity.
Dude,
so he seems like, and whenever I see him blocking, he seems pretty good. So if they have sort of that good fullback, that'll be a plus too for the offense.
Absolutely. It's good to see that again.
But yeah, overall, pretty good offensive performance.
Yeah, we're not missing anybody. No.
Yeah, I guess we sort of talked about offensive line.
Yeah.
Thoughts in general.
Yeah.
Maybe a few issues in run blocking, but other than that,
pass blocking
we'll just see
how
they do next week, I guess.
Yeah. But overall, I think it was a good offensive day.
Yeah.
And, continued
50.
to 50 again. And it was like, I saw it was like the first time they scored 50 plus 2 games in a row since it was like, help me out here. Did you see that stat?
Oh, yeah, it was...
When we were watching BTN?
Oh, man. I don't remember. But yeah, it was a while.
It's been like 20 years or something.
Yeah. Well, you remember like all the Lloyd Carr and Hoke years, they never score like 50 most times.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool to see.
It is cool to see. And a lot of people, they're kind of complaining about, the, like we were saying, which they have kind of the run game and everything, but we won 50-14. That's a positive win, and especially after we saw the other teams struggle around the country this year, or this week.
Yeah, I mean, if you watch Clemson, who was in the title game last year, they had a touchdown game with Troy.
Yeah.
Georgia was playing a team I never heard of, Nichols.
They won by like 2 points. Who else? It was just bad. A lot of
Alabama. They didn't really have trouble.
No, but they won. Was it 38-10? I think.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, it was 38-10.
So we won 51-14. Everyone relax.
Well, the issues I have are more on defense, so we'll talk about that. But I'm more pessimistic than Brian, so he's Mr. Thumbs Up optimist.
Yeah.
But yeah, anything else for offense?
No, I think we covered them. So defense. Okay. My take on the defense, I thought it was a good day overall. I think they came out a little flat. Well, no. They didn't start out flat. They started well, and then after a while, once the game started to go,
Yeah.
I think they started to come out flat after that.
Yeah, and to be fair, it's sort of a caveat. They're still missing, I think, 3 starters. Like Jordan Lewis didn't play again. Taco Charlton didn't play. Brown Monet didn't play either. So when they get those guys back, I'm sure that'll help. And I think those are all short-term injuries.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe a little flat. UCF's first drive, they had a couple big plays, I think.
Yeah, right off the bat there.
I don't know what you thought. Just when I was watching it seemed more like just sort of scheme or mental issues as opposed to just like getting blown off the line or things like that. Like some of those screen passes were just sort of like a numbers game. There'd be like 3 receivers blocking 2 defenders. Yeah. Things like that.
Yeah.
I
agree.
The one long touchdown UCF had was sort of that sweep to the right. Just on, at least when I watched it, not enough players there, and Diamante Thomas like the worst tackle I've seen in a while. Yeah. He's sort of
he overcommitted so bad.
He went like way too inside.
Yeah.
And that guy was the running back for UCF.
Fast.
He might have underestimated him. He was really fast.
Yeah.
But that's DeMonte Thomas, new starter. Maybe that's sort of an issue to fix.
Yeah.
Because last year that was Jared Wilson, and that never happened. So hopefully that gets fixed. I think the other main yardage was the quarterback runs, and I think that's the biggest issue.
There was 2 long runs, right?
Yeah, the quarterback runs. That's the main thing I'm worried about because they're going to play other teams with mobile quarterbacks.
Yeah, Indiana, Ohio State.
Yeah, especially Ohio State.
Who else? As a side note, I think those are the big two that's gonna.
Yeah, for the most part. At least the major teams that really test them, I think.
But that is a concern.
It is a concern. At least, maybe you saw something different, but it just seemed like either a line. I think in the first big one, I think one of the linebackers just went too far upfield. That's usually the main issue, is either the lineman or the end or the linebacker get way too upfield.
Yeah.
And leaves that lane open. Which is fixable, but is an issue.
Exactly. And one thing that you have to think about here is with Don Brown's defense, it's very aggressive, right? Mm-hmm. And I've noticed on the big plays this year, and there haven't been many, the big plays this year, they happen because we're just so overcommitted with everything. We have so many guys up close, and that's I think that's a big part of why that happens.
Yeah, and yeah, not too much. Like I think sometimes, sometimes when I watch like Rashawn Gary, I think sometimes he sort of takes those wide angles, sort of that classic defensive end going for the sack, and that leaves the lane open. So just things like that are what I see.
Rashawn. Rashawn Gary.
Oh.
Sorry. That's what we're gonna call him that from now on.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's it for me. Go ahead, Brian.
I can't now. No, you hit it spot on. I think my interpretation of it was a lot of guys, overcommitted, like you said, where we had linebackers running inside.
Yeah.
Or, I can't even talk now. We had linebackers, way overcommitting inside. You got to keep the contain, and that happened multiple times. I remember thinking that. And opposed to defenses we saw, even like last year, we didn't see very many big plays, right? And this is what happens when you have such an aggressive defense. But it's going to be worth it, and overall, I was happy with it.
Yeah, and this is one of those things like offense where if it happens against Colorado again, then maybe we'll worry more.
Yeah.
I don't think it will, and hopefully Michigan will get those guys back healthy, the injured guys.
Yeah. So position groups wise, I guess we can start with D-line. What did you think of that?
D-line was good. I think my favorite player other than Peppers is Ryan Glasgow.
Okay.
Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought you were going to say Rashawn.
Well, I like Rashawn. But man, Ryan Glasgow, if you watch him, this is the entire game, if you watch clips of him, is just taking guys by the shoulder pads and tossing them to the side. I think he's, at this point, can be borderline All-American.
Mm-hmm.
I think he looks that good.
I agree.
Just never gets moved in the run game. Mm-hmm. Pass rush up the middle. I think he's the best D lineman.
Mm-hmm.
Maurice Hurst came back.
Yeah, I was happy to see him back out there.
When I watch the replay on TV, I think he looks bigger than last year, which is good. He's still got that quick first step. So, and they're going to need him with Monet seemingly injured a few more weeks.
Yeah.
So I was really happy with the defensive tackles, the inside guys.
Yeah.
The end guys were Winovich, Gary.
Yeah.
Those were the main assets. Winovich had that strip sack.
Yeah.
Which was cool.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't seen him much before this year, and he seems pretty good.
Yeah.
He was taking Taco's place.
Yep. From injury.
Not the biggest guy, but he's fast.
He is fast, and he played well.
He did, and Rashawn, he had a better game than last week.
Yeah,
he got a sack.
That's what I was going to say. He had his sack, and that was if I'm thinking of this correctly, was that right when, at like the 2-yard line, right?
Yeah, that was one by the end zone he got with Getty. Yeah,
and he's fast for a D lineman. I mean...
Yeah, if you watch that, it's just him zipping by the right tackle.
Yeah.
The right tackle's not even have his stance. But yeah, he's going to be good.
Yeah, I agree. We beat him up front for the most part.
Yeah, and that was the main guys that played. I guess Godin got in there. He seemed fine.
Yep.
But yeah, hopefully get that depth back and they'll be okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wormley got the field goal blocks.
Yeah, was it 2 of them?
I think he got, I know he got the first one. I don't remember if he got the second one. I think he did.
I think he did too. It was or was it a punt? We had 2.
The punts were Tyreek Hill.
Number 23. I didn't. Yeah. Okay.
And I think both the punts were him.
Yeah.
Both the block kicks were Wormley.
Yeah.
And they talk about it on the TV. They must have been really low kicks because Wormley didn't even jump. He just stuck his hand up.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that might just be more UCF special teams, but
right.
Still good.
No, it was definitely good. So D-line did really well. I was pumped about it. Linebackers, I thought they played good as well. Mike McCray had another good week.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
which was that's really exciting.
It is exciting.
That was the main question. This is the second week where he's looked good.
Mm-hmm. And there's one play in particular that stuck out to me. As I know, Matt, you and I, we do our studying. We watch after the games as commitment. We watch the BTN in 60, the replay in 60.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But there was one play where they had a guy wide open over the middle, right? He did like, I think it was a slot receiver. He was a 10-yard in.
Yep.
And it was last minute. He got his hand up there and knocked the ball away.
Yep, I was going to say the same play.
Really?
Yeah, that
athletic.
Was good.
He's quick, athletic, and he's all over the ball. He almost got an interception as well yesterday.
Yeah, he did. He's good on the blitzes too.
Yeah.
They send him on the blitz a lot. He comes around the end a lot. So that's really exciting. Who's the other? Gideon. He was the other guy.
Mm-hmm.
There's Brian. Have a good time.
Happy Wheat American IPA.
Yeah, I'll have to get mine.
Yeah.
But yeah, Gideon, he was fine. He's sort of the normal linebacker play, I guess.
Yeah.
I didn't notice anything. And we're talking about linebackers. We're talking about your buddy.
Yeah, JP. Some Jabril, black pepper, cayenne pepper. No, but he played awesome, I thought. The guy's just all around, wherever the ball is, he's there. His play in particular that I was pumped about where it was just that big hit. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember. I think it was 3rd down. You know which one I'm talking about? It was on the quarterback. I think it was a draw.
Yeah, I think I remember that.
It's hard to remember specific plays, but
yeah, I think. But yeah, just in general, he's so fast.
Yeah.
Just that burst. Oh, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever you try to run anything laterally,
he's there.
He has the corner.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and obviously he had the punt return.
Yeah.
He almost made it.
He almost made it. That was the bold prediction last week.
Brian almost got his bold prediction.
Yeah, he was got down to the 5.
I don't think it'll take long. So.
Yeah, we're just waiting for it. Every time he touches the ball, we're just.
Yeah.
Oh, we can't wait.
But yeah, he's gonna continue to be good. So yeah, I guess the only thing with linebackers is there still doesn't seem to be a lot of depth.
Yeah.
Like I was
absolutely.
hoping like guys like Devin Bush will get in there, but it seems like the whole game is
the same.
McCray and Gideon and Jabril.
And Peppers, yeah.
So that might be. Hopefully, there's no injuries there.
Yeah.
Because that seems like the main worry right now.
Yeah.
It's just linebacker because it doesn't seem like much depth there. But otherwise, stars look fine.
Yeah. No, that was good. Corner play, I thought that went well. Actually,
yeah, I think UCF they didn't even break like 60 yards passing. Did they?
No.
Part of that was their game plan, but still.
Yeah. It was good. They were, again, they press coverage, which I really like.
Yeah.
So, you mess with the receivers right up front. I thought there was no big pass play, right? I mean, it was the longest pass play, I can't even think of one.
Yeah, there wasn't much. And all those, every time UCF threw a long ball, Stribling or Clark were right there.
Right there. Which is very, that's awesome to see. They were never beat.
Yeah, and it seems like both those guys there's no clear number 2. At least when I've seen it seems like they're both playing about the same level.
I agree.
Yeah. So I think all 3, those 2 and Lewis, are going to play about the same amount, it seems like, for most of the year.
Yeah, and hopefully we see Lewis here pretty soon. I'm getting a little concerned. Do you have any idea? Or I haven't seen anything.
No, I assume they're just being careful. Cause
that's what I'm hoping,
and I'm not sure even the next game they're going to really play an elite receiving team.
Yeah.
Passing team. So my guess is if it's not this week, it's Penn State.
Yeah.
If it's not Penn State, then maybe we'll worry. But
okay.
I'm sure something will come out if it's any later than another week or 2.
Yeah. So they said it was precautionary, so
yeah, he didn't seem worried about it. Harbaugh, so I guess we won't worry about it either. No,
I won't worry about it, and I'm not going to worry about it because the DBs played well.
Yeah, they did. They sort of, I think you sort of noticed it last year too. They get just physical enough to not get flagged. At least Stribling, at least Clark, it seems like they're sort of pulling on the back of the jersey, but it's not clear enough or flagrant enough that they're gonna throw it every time.
I like it though.
They sort of mastered. It's sort of an NFL thing. It seems like they sort of mastered
it. Yeah.
And they're not gonna call it. Might as well
keep doing it, because I do remember like multiple instances where I'm just like waiting for a flag to come out.
Yeah, and even if they're tugging, all those throws, they're step for step with the receiver. They're not getting beat deep, so that's good.
That is good. Yeah, so they played well. What else? I mean, overall, defensively, I thought it was good. There was those few bad plays. I guess part of what you can take from it is you can kind of be a little concerned about the spread offenses we're going to play this year. Yeah. Because of last year and because of what happened this last week.
Yeah, at this point, we'll see, but it seems like any team that's just going to try to line up pro style and run the ball, they're just not going to do anything.
I agree.
I think the spread teams are the ones to worry about.
Yep.
So that's more of a to be determined thing, I would say. So yeah, hopefully next time I play a spread team, we'll do a little better.
Yeah.
And to be fair, it was only 5% of the plays that were the big plays. The rest they were negative plays.
Exactly. Yeah, they were. You could say they were broken plays. Quarterback scrambling around like that twice.
Yeah. So we won't complain. So we won't complain too much this week.
No, I'm not complaining. Matthew is really optimistic, and usually I am for the most part. But no, I was totally fine with the defense, and I think they're fast. They're the blitzing schemes. I love the blitzing schemes. They're just all over the field, and it's crazy when you just see, Peppers lining up, and then you have corners, going in for a blitz and then backing off. It's just...
Yeah, and we'll see if they change sort of their scheme. Like, if they're getting burned more on, those quarterback runs, maybe they'll keep the linebackers back a little more and not blitz as much.
Yeah.
And that might be like the offense, too, where Brown's sitting on a bunch of things he hasn't pulled out yet.
Yeah, and like I kind of mentioned before with how offensively I think we're holding things back a little bit, I wonder how much, we're holding back defensively.
Yeah.
Because...
Probably not as much as offense, I would say.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm sure there's a few blitzes and things like that they're going to pull out for bigger games. But yeah, we'll see next week.
Yeah, so that was good. So now we got next week we got Colorado.
Yes, Colorado.
We got a couple pointers on them.
Yes, so Colorado is actually undefeated too, like Michigan.
Yep, 2-0. Decisive wins.
Yeah, they beat, let's see, first week they beat Colorado State, their in-state rival. I think last week was Idaho State. Not very good teams.
No.
They are 2-0.
Yeah.
And they did win in blowouts. I think the consensus is Colorado's better than both the teams Michigan's beaten. So it'll be more of a test. It's sort of shown by the line. Michigan's favored by 20 points.
20 point, yep. Which is less than either of our opponents so far.
Yeah. And yeah, like a first time playing like a Power 5 team.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be interesting. Yeah, we have a few more notes on Colorado.
What else do we have on them? So last year they were 4-9.
Mm-hmm.
So that was interesting to see. They're 2-0 now. They seem to be on a different level than last year. So they're pretty. They're.
Yeah, we'll see if they make a bowl this year. That would help
Michigan. Right. That would.
Schedule-wise.
Yeah, and I guess another thing to look at was kind of the concern this week was they are a spread offensive team, and even more so than UCF.
Yeah, so we'll see. So we'll see the same issues from this week, last week happen again next week.
Yeah, and I think that there has to be adjustments that we're gonna make to.
Yeah.
And I hope next week when we're talking in the podcast that we'll say, okay, we made those adjustments against the spread team, and we just need to be better defensively, like laterally. Not so focused on the middle. We need to really be able to spread it out laterally. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So just can't overcommit, and no, it'll be an exciting game.
Yeah, it should be fun.
Speaking of exciting, we got our bold predictions.
Oh man!
So we'll start with the big U's prediction. What are we thinking?
Man,
I haven't even thought of mine yet. Have you?
Well, I guess I have one.
Okay.
So, our last week, we'll talk about our last week. Last week, Brian predicted a punt return for a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
And Brian was about 5 yards short.
5 yards away.
I think my prediction was Eddie McDoom would have 2 touchdowns. He seems kind of close on one.
Yeah.
And a little spin moved on the jet sweep.
Almost got away.
So I wasn't that close. Brian's closer than I was. But yeah, we'll try again every week. So this week I will go pretty bold. I'll say Khalid Hill. I'll say this week Khalid Hill 3 touchdowns.
3 touchdowns. Okay.
He's Mr. Fantasy Points. Just get the ball at the 2-yard line. So that's my bold prediction.
I like it.
Okay.
Big U with a bold prediction. Khalid Hill, not Rayshawn, but
no.
Jeez, what am I gonna go with here? So.
You seem to like the Jabril ones.
I do like the Jabril ones.
We'll see if he goes somewhere else.
Well, I do think he's going to get... I think every week he's going to get a return.
And he does come close.
Every time. Let's see. Okay, so... I think this will be pretty bold, and I think this can happen. I think 2 freshman receivers, different, are going to get touchdowns. So I'm talking McDoom here.
Yep.
Some Crawford action.
Okay.
So I think between them, I think they're going to get 2 touchdowns.
Sure.
Can I even say that one of them gets 2? Does that count?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So that's it.
Yeah.
So I think receiver-wise, some freshmen, unlike last week, will make an impact.
Okay, I hope so.
All right.
So they're bold predictions. They're part of history now, so we can be wrong or right.
Yep.
And yeah, I think the last thing we're going to look around the Big Ten.
Yeah.
This will be hopefully way more fun next week when Sparty plays Notre Dame.
Oh, it'll be awesome.
And OSU goes to Oklahoma. So if both those teams lose, this segment will be like 30 minutes next week.
Yeah. Well, you know what? So we just did our bold predictions. We're at 35 minutes. Let's next week. Okay, so you have the two games. What's your predictions for those games? So we got Sparty against Notre Dame.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I still don't think Sparty has an offense.
Yeah.
They haven't played anyone, so we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure they have the horses offensively. I think defensively, their secondary is still a little suspect.
Yeah.
So I think Notre Dame wins.
Okay.
I'll guess 34-17 Notre Dame. That's my guess.
I like that. And I actually completely agree, 100%. I like the score. It's on the road. Michigan State in the past has struggled at the opening of the season. However, this year was against Furman. I have to think, and I'm hoping this year, that it's us and Ohio State competing at the end. So I like to see them lose.
Okay.
That's all. So and then the other big game here, we got Ohio State. They were playing Oklahoma, our rivals.
Yes. Again, we still don't know that much about OSU. Oklahoma, I mean, they seemed good last year, but then they went out and lost to Houston this year. They have a good quarterback, Baker Mayfield. I think this will be a close game. If I had to make a prediction, I would say maybe 30-27 Ohio State. But I think it could go either way, and we'll learn a lot about both teams after that one.
Yeah, good point. I mean, you're exactly right, because Ohio State, they haven't really played anybody necessarily, and then Oklahoma, they could have just came out, had a bad game against Houston.
Yeah. I really want to see OSU's defense.
Yeah.
Because there's still a ton of new players haven't been tested yet.
Exactly.
So that'll be really interesting to see, because we already know their offense will be fine with Barrett. But defensively, I want to see how they do against a pretty good quarterback.
Yeah, I agree. I'm the same. No. I think Ohio State's going to win. Right around the same. It's going to be close, so 3-7. Same thing. I think they're good, but I don't want to talk about them because we hate them. But no, it's good. I think I envision what I envision, and they're both 4-5 right now. I'm hoping at the end of the year that we're playing them to go to the Big Ten Championship 1-2 again, like 2006.
Yeah, maybe. My only thing would be I don't think Alabama will lose again, so that might stop the 1-2.
They're going to lose.
You're right.
Okay, they're going to lose, but they're going to lose this week to Ole Miss. There's another bold one for you.
It's not my bold prediction.
Okay. Well, it's mine, so keep that.
Okay.
So, that was a little side note there for our rivals, and it's important because it's the, affects, doesn't...
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on them. See how they do.
So, we were checking out the Big Ten scores.
Yes.
I'm having the commissioner on my phone here. What do we got? Can you choose like this?
Scores up here. First one, Maryland defeating Florida International. I have no thoughts at all about that game, so we'll pass.
Good for them.
Tulsa OSU. I watched some of this. It's basically Tulsa throwing balls directly to the OSU secondary.
Yeah.
So we didn't learn much from that.
No, not at all. So pass on that one.
Wisconsin 54, Akron 10.
Wisconsin continues to impress. And I'm hoping that they continue to win, because when they come to Ann Arbor, they're going to be a top 10 team, maybe top 5.
Yeah, that might be the top 10 team matchup for Michigan. Maybe a game day matchup for Michigan.
Absolutely,
that'd be cool. But yeah, that's a game Wisconsin should win.
The Hawkeyes getting a win over their rival.
Yes, they're in-state rival. Iowa State's terrible. I think they lost to an FCS team last week. But yeah, I think Iowa, they'll be solid again.
Yeah.
That Big Ten West looks more interesting. Except for, Tower Northwestern, but the other Big Ten West teams look pretty good.
Yeah, I'm happy for them. It's like we need them to, show up.
Yeah.
Who else we have?
We have Nebraska 52, Wyoming 17.
Good. So there's another team out of the West that...
Yeah, Nebraska always has a passing game.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of everything else.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Probably the best Big Ten game this week. Pitt 42, Penn State 39. Penn State losing to the Fighting Narduzzi's.
Yeah.
And I was actually happy they lost.
I was too,
frankly. Their offense had a pulse. I didn't think we'd see that in their offense. Other than Saquon Barkley. Not sure they'd had anything. But man, their defense looked bad.
Yeah, it did.
Either Pitt's really good, or they had to replace that whole defensive line.
Yeah.
They looked bad.
Yeah, it looked bad. They were going to be pretty good, right? And then they kind of came back at the end.
Yeah, they sort of came back, sort of a rivalry game.
Yeah.
A little fired up, but man.
They have to... I know, losing to Pitt.
So
their problems. I don't know how much longer. And I'm honest, I don't know, Franklin. They're not happy with him over there.
Yeah, I mean, and they still got to play Michigan, MSU, Ohio State. I think Iowa.
Yeah.
So it might be.
We're good.
Okay,
we're doing good.
It might be looking like the Coach Oak of Penn State here.
Yeah, exactly. Cincy and Purdue, those poor Boilermakers. Now, I was watching the final drive, and did you see how many interceptions Blau threw?
I didn't go anywhere near that game because I didn't want it to poison my eyes. So.
Well, do you want to know how many?
No, how many did he throw?
It was 5 interceptions. 5 in one game.
Good Lord. So. Purdue is Purdue. Were there more than 30 people in the stands? That's my only question.
No, there weren't. Oh, I feel bad for them.
Yeah, they need to get Joe Taylor back.
Yeah.
So, we have Rutgers defeating Howard, 52-14. Well, just one note.
Oh, okay.
Janarian Grant, did you watch him?
Oh, yeah. Unreal.
That guy is a monster.
Yeah, he is.
And if the Lions can draft him, whenever he comes out, please draft him.
All right,
he's like the Rutgers Jabril.
You mentioned the Lions. Oh. Quick shout out.
So I don't know if anyone watched the Lions game, but they were doing their usual thing where they just decide they don't want to win.
Yeah.
So they come back, take the lead with Stafford leading the drive, and then Matt Prater trots out and misses the extra point.
And that's SOL, same old Lions. Here we go.
Same old Lions. And then Andrew Luck walks down the field.
Untouched.
The same third-string tight end, who's caught 2 touchdowns earlier, is wide open.
Yeah.
And
they did it.
Just as the curse seems like it's stuck for another year.
Yeah.
Good old Matthew Stafford connects the
leads him
Riddick.
Down, yeah.
Looking like Joe Montana. Leads him down.
Pumped during the game, man. He was yelling at players, "I'm excited," and I shouldn't get excited, but
yeah, don't get excited.
No.
Well, we'll see, but
Matt, you're pumped.
Yeah, I get too excited about the Lions. But yeah, I want to know. Bears lost, so they're tied for first in the division.
Yep.
So they won a road game in Indianapolis. Yeah,
it was nice. They're 1-0, so
1-0,
and they won on the road. But
so
that was cool. Our little shout out. I think we got to do a little 1 minute every week. Shout out to the Lions
if they win. So this will be the last one. So
no, I'm allowed to complain about the Lions too.
Okay. We'll keep an eye on the Lions too.
Yeah.
We won't get our hopes up too much. So they lose to Green Bay by 40. So, but yeah, our next one, Minnesota 58, Indiana State 28.
They look good, Minnesota.
Yeah, the Gophers.
Yeah.
They beat not a good team, but Oregon State.
Yeah.
12 team. So maybe make some noise in that Big Ten.
Yeah. Leidner, right? He looked good. He's throwing the ball all around.
Yeah.
What about your Wildcats?
Yeah, this award for saddest performance, beating out Purdue, which is Illinois State 9, Northwestern 7.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to start with scoring 7 against Illinois State. It's losing on a field goal at the end of the game.
That's sad, man.
After losing to Western by 1 last week.
Yeah, so they lost. They're 0-2 to no-name teams.
And to be
I'm not going to say no-name. I'm going to say for the MAC.
Yeah.
Because
Brian's a proud MAC alumnus.
Can I do my other shout-out?
Yes. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. CMU Chippewas, baby. 2-0. They just took down Oklahoma State on the coolest last play ever in college football.
And illegal coolest play, but still, good win.
Yeah, we need to ignore that. That was awesome. I went to class with Jesse Kroll. He caught the ball, and he lateraled it to, I don't know. I did. I was excited about that. So they're 2-0. That's my shout-out to the Chips. We're going to fire up, and They got another big one against Virginia coming up, so that's my.
Oh, they can totally beat Virginia.
Yeah,
Virginia stinks.
Yeah. So that's my little shout out to the Chips.
Was that so? When he caught the ball on the Hail Mary and tossed it, was that part of the play, or was that
was part of the play? Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah, it was absolutely. He caught it, and then you could see they all went around him, and it was his intention. Right when he caught it and was going, he threw it.
So it was like a hook and ladder.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
It was awesome.
So yeah. Central Michigan fighting for the playoff spot, the fourth playoff.
Shut up! Wow.
No,
coming from a U of M grad.
No, I'm
ripping on the MAC schools.
I like Central. They probably win the MAC this year, right?
I hope so.
Where's the Central Western game?
That's coming up.
Is that at Central or Western?
First. It's at Central this year.
Ooh. So yeah.
Yeah. I might have to.
That'll have to be a third shout out. Behind the Lions. But yeah, Northwestern. To be fair, our expectations, they've done well the last few years, so that sort of changed our expectation. But yeah, that's not good. Next one is Indiana 30, Ball State 20. Indiana.
I didn't realize it was that close.
Yeah.
Wow.
But Indiana's Indiana.
No defense.
Actually, their defense has been playing better.
Has it?
They don't have quite the firepower on offense, so maybe less of chaos every game. But still, good win for the Hoosiers. Then the last one, North Carolina 48, Illinois 23.
And this was one that I was kind of interested in.
Yeah, I watched the first half.
Yeah.
Illinois put up a fight.
They did. And Illinois, I told you last week, they're kind of a Big Ten team that doesn't really annoy me.
Yes.
They came out and they sold out their stadium, and it's cool they got Lovie Smith.
Yeah, and if you remember years before Lovie Smith, they were like Purdue level attendance. So that's sort of as low as it gets. So
if Purdue fans listen to this, they're gonna be
I'm
pissed.
sure no Purdue fans listen to this. But yeah, probably not the horses there yet for Illinois.
Yeah.
But they'll get there. So maybe give it like 2 or 3 years. I think Illinois will be good.
I think they'll be good too.
That's the look around the Big Ten we sort of talked about.
So overall, pretty good around the Big Ten, right? Besides Northwestern and Purdue.
Yeah.
Right?
Penn State is...
maybe not.
Penn State might have a rough...
Yeah.
Sort of a 2014 Michigan year.
Yeah. Well, so right now we got 3 teams in the top 10, and then you have Sparty at 12. So that's solid. I mean, that's good.
Yeah, and I was in that 13, top 15. Wisconsin.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Big Ten. That's most likely have that playoff spot.
So that was good. I mean, another exciting week. Well, you know what? I'm not even gonna say that. Another week of college football.
Yeah, next week could be really fun.
Yeah, that had to be honestly one of the most boring weeks of college football, besides the Chips.
Yeah, it's
no.
The only big game, as my dad called it, I call it the Hillbilly Bowl at that race car track.
Yeah,
the Tennessee,
where they couldn't even see the damn ball on the field.
I guess if you want to talk about, now we won't talk about TCU Arkansas. Maybe that might hurt the Big 12's playoff chances.
Yeah.
So maybe Houston will sneak in that last playoff spot.
They have a shot.
Let's keep an eye on that. But yeah, we'll talk more about Big Ten next week. Besides those 2 rival games, Oregon at Nebraska, that'll be a big game. And yeah, we'll see how next week goes.
Yeah, next week is definitely, we have a lot of good games in store. We got our Wolverines again. We're playing Colorado, so hopefully next podcast we'll be talking to how we're 3-0, and looking forward, continuing to progress the way they are. It's very exciting. I just saw today we're number 4 in the AP poll, and I can't tell you the last time I remember them as number 4.
Probably 10 years.
Yeah. Were we? Yeah, because we were 2006.
Yeah.
So. No, it's exciting. And, overall a good week, and we're looking forward to what the season has to bring.
Yeah, so last non-conference game.
Yep. Also, if you guys, again, if you've listened this far, thank you. leave us any comments. Things if you think that we can add on to our show. Anything that you have to say, we'll respond to it. We'll be excited about it.
Yeah.
What do you think, Matt?
Yeah, just anything at all. Even if it's not a comment, just if you want to add your own prediction, just anything like that is totally fine. We'll be thrilled.
Yeah. This is our thing. We just like to come. A couple of fans on here, just coming on and talking Michigan football.
Yeah, and if anyone is listening every week, this makes it totally worth it.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, that's about all we have this week.
All right, let's get a good Go Blue, Matthew.
All right, Go Blue.
Go Blue.